So let's say you are working on your Works Cited page and you have a bunch of Works Cited entries which you took from the library database, but you're not sure what you should do next. So I'm going to show you some information. So the first thing to know is that in English, we use what is called MLA style, not the other very popular one, which is called APA style. So you want to make sure that your links are set for MLA. You want to put the cursor in the middle like this, type WORKS, CITED. Works just means things. Cited means pointed to. So it's the things that you pointed to. Now I already have all of my links on my clipboard, so I'm just going to paste them, and here they are. Now what do I do? So at this point, you might just save it and turn it in. What comes next? There are a couple things that you need to know. The first thing is if you press Control and then the letter A, it will select everything. And you can change all at once. So you can change the font. You can change the spacing to 2.0. Then you will deselect this. You will select just down to the bottom because you don't want to affect the Works Cited part. You're going to do what's called a hanging indent. A hanging indent is where the first line sticks out to the left, and that makes your Works Cited page easier to read. Okay, what comes next? Couple things. The first thing is that in MLA, you put the author's last name first. You only do that for the first one if there's more than one. So here is an article that was written by two people, and these two people's last names are Canavan and Petrovic. So Canavan, I'm going to put up in front and put a comma. Here I put a period because this ends with a period. By the way, I'll just tell you quickly, the best place to find any and all MLA-related style information completely for free is at this website, style.mla.org. That is the best place you can go. You can't do better than that. Okay, so I have this. I have my period. This is a title. This is the title of the article. That gets its own period. This is the name of the book that this came from. Book titles go in italics. If you want to be really fancy, you would notice that The Hunger Games has its own novel, so it gets almost like double italicized, which means it goes back to regular. There should not be any single quotes here. That's non-standard for a book. I don't know why it makes it look like that. So, comma, editors, comma, McFarland, this is the name of the publisher, and then the pages. So, accessed, MLA says only say when you access something if the source does not have a date of its own. But I do have a date of my own. I have 2014. Similarly, I only need to put the URL if I don't have lots of other additional information. So I don't really need this either. So I'm going to take this out. You can see I have, let's see, what do I have here? I have what looks like an extra blank line. I'm not sure why this looks like this. So again, I'm going to do Control A to select everything, and I'm going to check my paragraph spacing. I want before to be 0, and I want after to be 0. Let's see what that does. Okay, all right, so that fixed up that spacing. Okay. Again, last name comes first. This is the name of the book. You couldn't keep this in, so this is the print book, information about the print book. This is information about the ebook. It's actually fine to leave that in this situation. So when you do leave links in, MLA says to take out HTTP or HTTPS. So this is what we call a book with, or a publication with, two containers. So this is the book that's printed that you can pick up with your hands. And then this is some additional information about the electronic only book. I still don't need the access date because the original book has a date of its own. So I'm going to take that out. Michael J. O'Neill. I wonder if this is a student essay. I wonder that just from the title. O'Neill Michael J. Critical Essay on the Hunger Games. That's a pretty boring title. That sounds like a title that a student might use. So you really shouldn't use a student essay as one of your sources. You should use essays by professionals. So, okay. Oh, by the way, I think there's something missing here. Deborah Hopkinson, notice there's no title here. This is the name of a book, but I don't see a name of any particular piece of writing. Is there a particular piece of writing? So I wonder if that's missing. Anyway, back to this one. This is the name of a book, so it goes in italics. Take out the in. Here again, it's not mentioning the ebook, so I don't need the access date or that other information. Do I have an extra paragraph here? I do. I'm going to take that out. I'm going to take this out. So I'm just fixing the spacing here. Last name first, comma. Balkind is the correct spelling. I'm sure you don't need to do this, but I always add it to my dictionary. Okay. This ends with a period, not a comma. I take out the in. The Hunger Games does not get quote marks because it's a complete work. It gets italics. Because it's italics inside of other italics, I'm going to unitalicize it. Again, because this has a publisher, a date, everything like that, I don't need this information. This came out bold for no reason. I'm going to take that away. Okay, so the last name first. This goes here. Christian Science Monitor is the name of a newspaper, so I'm not really sure if this citation is correct. However, I can't figure that out on my own. So again, this has both a regular publisher and the ebook. So in this case, I'm going to leave the URL. I'm going to take out the access date because I don't need it. I think this is still bold, so I'm going to unbold it. Okay, so now I've done my basic formatting. This is basically formatted. Now there's something else I need to do, which is that in MLA style, you do not go by the order that you use a source or the order that you found it or anything like that. Instead, you go alphabetical by author name. So the first author name in the alphabet here is B for Balkind. So that goes up at the top. Okay, A, B, C, H, L, M, N, O, and then Z. Okay, so these are in alphabetical order. Okay, So this looks like a quite solid works cited page. So I'm not sure which database these sources came from. A student sent me these. They came out with a lot more mistakes than you would usually see. Usually they get a lot closer than this to perfect MLA. This is quite far off. But still, you can see it only took about 6 or 7 minutes to fix it up. So that is some information on how you want to make your works cited page look if you're starting from the library databases.